Hi and welcome to the Bruce channel. I'm Bruce and where to begin? There's more than enough bad news out there, so let's start with some good news. Netflix announced this week that it was indeed picking up for a second season Stranger Things. It's just strange enough, weird enough to keep one coming back wondering what's going on, but not so weird as to make it outlandish. So yeah, I think it's returning as good news. And when it comes back, it's coming back with 9 episodes instead of just 8. I mentioned last week the forecast for here included some more 90-degree days, and that happened all the way through Wednesday. It wasn't until a cold front came through on Thursday that string broke. So right now we're sitting at 49, 90 or better for the year. Average is 28. Of course, you know about Hurricane Hermine. That formed in the Gulf. It hit St. Marks, Florida, Thursday night. And then that cold front steered it right across Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, up North Carolina. States of emergency were put out. Now where I am, it was gray all day, completely overcast, and very breezy. Barely a spit of rain. Not that far away. Looking at the radar, it was just, I can't hit a golf ball that far, but I could walk there within an hour. So anyway, a friend of mine posted this. Reedsville is not that far from me. This sums up my experience. But it is a shame for a lot of the beaches, Virginia, New Jersey, Long Island. Labor Day traditionally is the last of the big 3-day weekends for the season. And it's, cool here now, but more 90-degree days are coming, end of the week. In fact, we may get a lot more. I saw this. And this was made in July, this climate prediction. I didn't notice it, though, until this week. But it is unprecedented in that every acre, every square inch of all 50 states is predicted to be warmer than average. Sometimes wetter, here cooler. Every square inch warmer than average. One other weather note, how Florida sticks out into the Atlantic. It's one reason that there is a Gulf of Mexico. You think of Florida, you think of the Gators, you think of orange juice, you think of hurricanes, right? This is the first hurricane to make landfall in Florida in 11 years. Stranger things, indeed. All right, it was just a month ago. I made a joke about interpretation. If a sign saying bodybuilding contest was read by a person who pushes weight, verses by Dr. Frankenstein. When I made the joke, I used a clip from Young Frankenstein. And we got the news Monday, the 29th. Gene Wilder, who played Young Frankenstein, and Willy Wonka, he's in Blazing Saddles, and many others, died from complications from Alzheimer's. He will be missed. He was famous. Dolores Macklemore was not. She died the next day, Tuesday, the 30th. She was 89, and she wasn't famous. But her passing is nevertheless noteworthy because she was the very last person on Earth who was fluent in the Wichita language. Yeah, the Wichita were a Native American people, and although she did some teaching and authored a dictionary and she recorded some CDs, there is now no one left on the planet who can speak Wichita. She wasn't famous. Gene Wilder was, but as John Donne told us, any death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. So, are we diminished by the loss of a language? I don't know. Are we diminished when the last passenger pigeon went extinct, died in 1914? I don't know. Is the world diminished by these sorts of things? I don't know, but I'm concerned when we don't at least consider, because beyond the immediate environment and the immediate moment, there's lots of things we don't know. Is Hillary Clinton a liar? Donald Trump? I don't know. Probably somewhere, sometime, sure, for both of them. But I'm concerned. Both sides, their acolytes, refuse to even consider the points or the possible validity of the points the other side makes. Garrison Keillor wrote this week, God help us, we're in trouble down here. Yeah, boy. All right, you may recall the film that I've spoken of called In Dubious Battle. I was in it, but, a little tiny bit. Robert Duvall's in it, James Franco's in it, and It finally made its premiere Friday at the Venice Film Festival in Italy. Yes. Saturday, it was in the Duval, if that's how you say it. Deauville? I had a Coupe Deauville once. The Deauville Film Festival in France. Next week, Monday the 12th, it'll be at the Toronto International Film Festival. So if you're going to be near Toronto, drop in and let me know what you think, okay? And if I discover other places it will be, including a theater near you, I'll let you know.
You want it in?
Hungry, Mommy.
This is the job.
You can feel the tension.
Right now, get out of our camp!
I met Mac McLeod in 1933, and I witnessed up close the price of real change.
It's not about you and me. It's about Lisa's kid and what kind of world he's gonna grow up in.
I've also spoken of Obamaland. That's the film where I am the narrator, and I had hoped it would be out by the end of summer. I know that's still a few weeks away, but it is Labor Day weekend. But I had to record a few more lines, so I'm the narrator. I guess that means it'll be a little longer. I certainly hope we can do it by Election Day. Anyway, you may recall too when I shot those things originally, I spoke of the historic home at which we did the shooting, the beautiful Darshana Hall Plantation. I found this film. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. It's 5 or 6 minutes, but you can find it, I think, online, and it is just gorgeous. You can see, well, it was gorgeous in the winter, but, now things are blooming. And my friend who lives there, she sent me this. The idea, I take it, is to make captions. Well, I'm not sure it's a good caption, but maybe. But I look at this, instead of the length of the keys, which is the idea, I'm looking at the fingers, and it looks like the left hand is playing a D minor 7th, and the right hand appears to be playing a G 6th. And if that is so, that would be playing D twice, and every other white key once, which would sound a bit like this. And so I think my caption would be to quote Bill the Cat. All right, I said last week, moving forward, we'll be spending a lot less time on the election, and that remains true. But for a moment, let me put something up. This was supposed to be up last week. I meant to, I had it. So first, here's the letter allegedly from Hillary's doctor that says she's got dementia. And then, and a friend pointed out that why would the medical office list it as Rodham Clinton, Hillary? Anyway, but to the point, this is the one I intended to show. This alleges to be the real one, which she's in good health, and so which is real? Don't know. We can't know. We're not there. We're not flies on the wall, but we'll find out.
Hey, let me tell you about my book, Shrink. For most of my adult life, I weighed a little over 100 pounds, not much more than in this picture taken when I was about 17 and considering becoming a jockey. But as is often true, once I crossed into my 40s, extra weight came, and it stayed. For years, I tried to lose, instead gained, and ended up 153 pounds. And I'm embarrassed to show you this video. Then I learned that it isn't about calories and exercise, but instead it's about what you eat. You might say, sure, ice cream makes you fat. But there were surprises, things like orange juice not being such a wise choice if you're trying to lose weight. So I just made some basic changes to what I ate, not how much, and the weight just fell off. Now, nearly 3 years later, it is still off. And don't misunderstand, I'm eating foods I like, not bamboo shoots. Friends ask me how I did it so often, I put it in a book. It's available as an ebook for all platforms, and the print edition is available at barnesandnoble.com and amazon.com. Hey, you can shrink too.
Welcome back. Remember, you can watch our previous shows at tinyurl.com/Bruce Channel or at our Facebook page. You can write to us at the Bruce Channel at yahoo.com. All right, so the Olympics are over. Rio has lots of stuff to clean up. They have a lot of debt. They've officially ousted their president now. And at least one Brazilian journalist has written that it really was a coup d'etat, driven purely by money and corruption. But the Zika virus has spread, presumably because of travel. Miami and Miami Beach, and then to Florida's west coast. Did you hear about what happened in South Carolina? Truly, this is awful. Dorchester County neighbors Charleston, South Carolina to the northwest. Scores of Zika cases have been reported in South Carolina. 4 in Dorchester County, so officials there deployed from overhead, not from trucks on the ground. They deployed NALID. NALID is a pesticide, if I'm pronouncing it right, known to be toxic to honeybees, to wildlife, and even aquatic life. The EPA says it should be used after dusk and before dawn. Why? The bees be asleep. Well, they did it from 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. and now millions and millions and millions of dead bees resulted because, you know, they were out doing their worker bee stuff. Why weren't they more careful? You know, we're on the knife's edge with bees anyway. You've certainly heard about hive collapse, thought to be because of pesticides and insecticides. Now, you know, getting the mosquitoes responsible for Zika, that's probably an appropriate use of a pesticide. But why didn't we think a little bit? Anyway. All right, so it might still be hot, but at least thoughts of cool weather are now apropos. College football began this weekend, and of course high school football, depending where you live, it's already been going for a few weeks. But the NFL has wrapped up its preseason, and my Browns, like all the teams, played 4 preseason games. The good news is none of those games counted for anything because they lost all 4. The bad news is they didn't demonstrate they're going to win once it starts to count. Anyway, it is traditional to make Super Bowl picks before the season begins, and it's rare that anything comes of it. Sometimes. Longtime Cleveland football writer Tony Grossi, 4 years ago, predicted before the season began that the Baltimore Ravens would defeat the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl, and that's what happened. So that's a wow. All right, my first pick made out of loyalty is the Cleveland Browns defeat the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, but my real pick, New England Patriots beat the Arizona Cardinals. All right, a couple more strange things. Back in March, I showed you pictures of the buzzards populating my yard. I mean, lots of them. Presumably, they were on their way to Hinckley, Ohio, where they arrive exactly March 15th every year, even leap years. Yeah. But earlier this week, bunches were hanging around the yard, on the ground, in the trees, on my roof, on the chimneys. And I didn't know why. Certainly it's too soon for them to be coming back from Hinckley. Well, then I mowed. And while so doing, I discovered, I really have no idea what this was, but, you know, it had a long tail, so raccoon maybe? A possum? But making it even more strange, why did it die? I mean, this is 40, 50 feet from the road. It's not roadkill. Out by the road earlier in the week, there was a dead raccoon, and it probably was roadkill. But maybe it and whatever this was fought. Maybe they mortally wounded each other. This one died here, and the other one made it out to the road. I don't know. One more strange thing. You know it is a bizarro world when, I'm not going to say this guy's name. You know, I'm just not going to. But you know who he is. The sandwich guy convicted of having sex with a teenage girl. He is suing her parents. As I understand it, the gist of his suit is that their bad parenting made her vulnerable to his advances. Finally, I know I told you of the calico cat who turned up outside in the depths of winter, and I told you I began feeding her. Despite Katie's protestations, I may have told you I was trying to get them to get along, first by using a muzzle on Katie and having a friend help restrain them as they smelled each other. Did I tell you I succeeded? I don't think they're buds, but they're indifferent to each other, and that's good enough to cohabitate. All right, so that's it for this week. Happy Labor Day weekend. And let's hope that the hurricane moves east sooner than predicted, and the Northeast will have a day or two of good holiday weather. All right, two thoughts. The first is, go hang a salami. I'm a lasagna hog. That's right, go hang a salami. I'm a lasagna hog. The second, I hope that your upcoming week is the best one you've ever had.